The day she collapsed in the pharmacy aisle was the day the world finally noticed her suffering. Her body had been surviving on half meals and silent prayers for months, yet she still clutched a small box of medicine meant not for herself, but for her daughter. The cashier thought she had fainted from exhaustion. The truth was far more heartbreaking. She had skipped her own medicine again, just so her child could have one more chance to breathe through the night. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected miracles, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us humanity still exists. Maria lived in a narrow apartment above a closed grocery store, where the smell of dust and rusted metal hung in the air. The windows rattled whenever buses passed by, and the walls were thin enough to hear every neighbor's argument, every cough, every sorrow. Her daughter Lily was 8 years old and fragile like a candle in strong wind. A rare lung condition had made breathing painful, and constant medication was the only thing keeping her stable. Maria worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices at dawn and washing dishes at night. But even with both incomes combined, there was never enough. Rent came first, food came second, medicine came last, and Maria's own health never came at all. She had once been full of life, with strong arms and bright eyes. Now her hands shook when she lifted pots, and her vision blurred from untreated anemia and chronic pain. The doctor had warned her that skipping her own medicine could lead to permanent damage, but Maria had nodded silently, already knowing the choice she would make. Every night she counted pills. 1 bottle for Lily, 1 bottle for herself. If Lily's supply was low, Maria's bottle stayed unopened. Hunger was easier to endure than watching her child struggle to breathe. Winter came early that year. The heater in their apartment broke, and cold air crept into Lily's lungs like a thief in the night. Maria wrapped her in blankets and used her own coat as extra warmth. She sold her wedding ring to buy a month of medicine. Then she sold her phone. Then she sold the small television they watched together. Slowly their home became empty, except for love and fear. Some nights Maria would sit by the window and whisper prayers into the dark city, hoping someone, somewhere would hear her. She didn't ask for riches. She only asked for enough time to save her daughter. One afternoon, Maria walked into the pharmacy with exactly enough money to buy Lily's medicine. Her own prescription slip stayed folded in her pocket like a forgotten promise. She felt dizzy while standing in line, her stomach burning from hunger and her chest aching from untreated illness. Still, she smiled when the pharmacist handed her Lily's box. She had done it again. She had chosen her child over herself. That was when her legs gave out. People rushed toward her, voices blending into a blur. Someone called for help. Someone else held Lily's medicine so it wouldn't fall. Maria woke up on a plastic chair with water pressed into her hands and fear pounding in her chest. She tried to stand, apologizing again and again for causing trouble. She said she was fine. She always said she was fine. But a man had been watching from across the store. He wore a simple coat and glasses. Nothing about him screamed wealth. He had entered quietly, standing near the back shelf, waiting for his assistant to bring something. He saw Maria collapse. He saw her clutch the medicine like it was treasure. And he saw the exhaustion in her face. The kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from one bad day, but from a lifetime of sacrifice. The man followed Maria outside after she regained her strength. He watched as she walked slowly down the street, stopping every few steps to breathe. She didn't notice him until he gently called out to her. His voice was calm, respectful, not demanding anything. He asked if she was okay. She nodded, embarrassed, and tried to walk faster. But something in his eyes made her stop. He offered to buy her coffee. She refused at first. Pride is often the last thing the poor can afford to lose, but her legs trembled, and her stomach twisted with hunger. She agreed. They sat in a small cafe near the pharmacy. Maria kept her coat wrapped tightly around her thin body. The man listened more than he spoke. Slowly her story came out. The illness, the 2 jobs, the medicine. The choices she had to make every day between pain and survival. She didn't cry. She spoke as if this was normal life, as if suffering had become routine. The man felt something break inside him. He introduced himself simply as Daniel. He did not say he was one of the richest businessmen in the city. He did not mention that his companies owned half the buildings around them. He only said he had lost someone once because he had not acted soon enough, and he would not ignore what he had seen today. The next morning, Maria returned home with groceries she hadn't paid for, a heater that suddenly worked, and a note taped to her door that said someone had covered her rent for the next 3 months. She thought it was a mistake. She thought maybe the landlord felt sorry for her. She did not know Daniel had spent the entire night arranging help. Over the following weeks, everything changed quietly. A nurse came to check on Lily twice a week. Maria received her own medicine for the first time in months. The fridge was full. The apartment was warm. For the first time in years, Maria slept without fear. But the miracle did not stop there. Daniel visited them again, this time with a doctor. Lily was taken to a specialist hospital that Maria had never even dared to dream about. Tests were done. New treatment plans were created. The doctors said Lily had a real chance now. Not just to survive, but to live fully. Maria watched her daughter run down a hospital hallway one afternoon, laughing for the first time in months, and she covered her mouth so no one would hear her sob. Weeks turned into months. Lily's cheeks grew rounder. Her breathing grew easier. Maria's strength slowly returned. Her hands stopped shaking. She started smiling at strangers again. The city that once felt cold and endless now felt full of light. Daniel never asked for recognition. He never brought cameras. He never told newspapers. He simply said he had seen a mother who loved more than she feared, and that deserved support, not silence. One day Maria received a letter. It said she had been offered training for a job at one of Daniel's companies, a stable job, health insurance, a future. She held the paper like it was made of gold, not because of money, but because it meant she no longer had to choose between hunger and medicine. Life was not suddenly perfect. There were still struggles. There were still hospital visits. But the weight that had crushed Maria's soul was lifted. She no longer felt alone in a world that had once ignored her pain. On Lily's 9th birthday, they sat together at a small park. Lily blew out candles on a cake that Maria had baked herself. The sun warmed their faces. Maria realized something powerful in that moment. Her story was not just about suffering. It was about survival. It was about love so strong it refused to break. And somewhere in the crowd, Daniel watched from a distance, smiling quietly, knowing that one small act of noticing had rewritten 2 lives forever. Before this story ends, please take a moment to comment below and tell us where you are watching from and one word this story made you feel. Your words help this channel grow and help others find hope. Maria never became rich. She never forgot what it felt like to be invisible. And because of that, she started helping others in small ways, sharing food, guiding struggling mothers to clinics, listening to their fears. Her pain became purpose. Lily grew stronger every year. She learned to dance, to draw, to dream. She once asked her mother why the world had changed so suddenly. Maria told her that sometimes angels don't have wings. Sometimes they wear coats and walk into pharmacies at the right moment. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe for more true-to-life stories of courage and compassion. Your support keeps these stories alive. And remember this, somewhere right now, a mother is choosing hunger so her child can live. Somewhere right now, a single act of kindness is waiting to be given. You may never know whose life you will change by simply paying attention. This is not just Maria's story. It is a reminder that love can survive anything, and that one person, one moment, and one decision can change everything.